Okay, a little update. This is the backsplash trim piece. This is a little shelf on the other side of the kitchen that creates an extra prep space. These are all red oak. So you can see how blonde it was when I started on the back side here. Now it's dark like this. And all I used is mini wax fast drying polyurethane. This is warm ultra flat, so it's not a stain. It took this very light colored wood, which was more light like this, and turned it this dark. This one too, actually. You can see pretty light, but once I get the polyurethane on, it got really dark. I didn't anticipate that happening. I've never worked with red oak before. I found this at Menards. It was a pretty big sheet. It was 4 feet long and 2 feet wide. And they had several of them on the shelf, and I pulled every single one out until I found the prettiest one. This was the prettiest one because it had these really beautiful variations. And this is the one I chose for my kitchen countertop. I had no idea it was going to turn this color once I put the polyurethane on it, but man, am I happy about this result. So I'm waiting for it to dry completely, and then I'm going to put it back in the van. All right, so I'll show you what I'm doing on the inside here. I hope this is helpful to people. Like I talked about in another video, I'm a novice carpenter. I've only been doing carpentry work for about 10 years, kind of on and off, trying different projects. Started out building a cargo trailer. I built a couple of those, and then I was able to finally get what I really wanted, which was this van. What I did get done is polyurethaning my countertop from my kitchen cabinet. I don't have this attached to the wall yet, so I pulled it out from the wall so I could get the countertop up and get it in there. And then that other little shelf goes right here. So yeah, so the other thing I've been working on today is trim. You might remember I had this door installed here, and then I had just a black door jamb. You can see here the black door jamb. I put trim around it. I'm going to talk about a couple things here. The first thing I'm going to talk about is mixing woods. So I really, really love cedar. It's so pretty, and it comes in all different colors with all kinds of beautiful knots. But I also love using pine because it's inexpensive and lightweight. Cedar is extremely lightweight as well. These are good things to put in your van because of the weight. So you can see here with my medicine cabinet, I have a mixture of pine and cedar. And I think you can mix pine and cedar, and I think the colors complement each other. I've done the same thing with my door. The door is made out of pine, but I trimmed it out with cedar. So I just have this plain piece of cedar on the top. And then on the side, I got some knots here. And then I have this trim piece, which has some really pretty grains and knots in it. Look at that. That's my favorite piece. I wanted to make sure I had it front and center right here by the door. I look at it every time I open the door. All right, so same thing over here on this wall. So I had built this wall out many months ago, and I had some rough cut pine boards that I had it framed in. I've been looking at that ugly rough cut pine, wasn't even sanded, just ugly screw heads for months. How many months? Many months I had to look at this wall unfinished. Basically, this is the finished product. Almost completely. So what I've done is I've gone over all the framing. I'll get a couple more lights going on here so it's easier to see. Yeah. So I just went over all the framing with a mixture of pine boards and cedar boards. I've got cedar over here in the corner. This is cedar. This is cedar up here. And this is cedar right here. Then this is pine. And this is pine. And this is pine. This is pine. Looks like cedar. This is also pine. And this is pine. And then what I do is I'll select pieces that I like the best and then showcase them. Like this piece of pine. It's really pretty. It's two-tone. I picked that out specifically to go here. This one's really pretty also. It has some knots in it. A little knot here, a little knot here, knot here. And then I've countersunk all my screws. Sometimes I just glue the trim on, but this trim is really chunky. I usually go with 1/4 inch trim, but this is actually 3/4 inch trim. It's very thick and chunky. So I decided to screw it in place. It'd be easier than trying to deal with glue. So yeah, that's mostly done. And then I have a little stained glass light fixture that I'm building that's going to go here. But I just wanted to show you how I do this real quick, guys, and then I'll get off of here. So this is the first drill I ever bought. Porter cable. This is a Lowe's, kind of a Lowe's off-brand. They've actually done away with these. They don't, to my knowledge, exist any longer. But this drill still works great, and I have a bunch of batteries for it. So then I have a couple of DeWalt's. I just got this one for my birthday. My daughter bought it for my birthday this year. She got me this one and an impact drill, and they came with a couple batteries and a charger, so that's nice. So what I like to do is have 3 drills at the ready. So I'll have one to drill the hole for the screw. Otherwise, if you don't first drill the hole, a lot of times the wood will split, especially when you're using cheap pine like I like to use. I'll drill a hole, then I'll use this bit. It's got like a chipper on the end of it, and what this will do is you can put it up here over the hole you drill, and it will dig a hole the size of the head of your screw. That way, when you go to put the screw in, you can countersink it. So you can screw it in, and it'll go down beneath the surface of the wood. Then later on, you can sand this and come back over here with some wood putty, fill it in, sand it, and then you won't see the screw heads when you're done. I'll show you how I do this real quick in case anyone's not familiar. So let's see. So this one's ready to go. So I don't have these last 2 pieces, this one and this one, I don't have it quite attached yet. So I'll go ahead and show you how I do it. So I'll just pick a nice spot. I usually go down about 1.5 inches and start there. Center it in the middle of the board. Make sure I have it in the right position. So I'm going to just shimmy it. Yeah, it's in the right position. So I'm going to go ahead and drill a nice straight hole. Very slow and gentle. Going to go all the way through that. All the way through that 1x2 and into this. And this plywood I have on the walls in here is actually, I think it's 1/2 inch or 3/8 inch. So I've got plenty of room for my screws to grip. So now that I have the hole drilled, I'm going to come back in with this drill bit with this like chipper on the end. I'm going to gently line it up with the center of the hole. And then I'm just going to make it. That's kind of rotated a little bit, and as you can see, it's dug out a nice little place for my screw. Now, see, it's made a nice little divot there. I'm gonna grab my screw. I'm very careful to select the right length screws. As you can see, this screw will go in like this. It'll go all the way in. Now I'm gonna grab this and screw it in, and then you'll see how it goes in below the surface of the wood, countersinking it. Don't have to go too far. See, just a little bit. Hang on. See, now that screw is sunken into the wood, which will allow me to come back in with wood putty, fill this in, sand it, and then you won't be able to see the screw head anymore. It'll just look like a knot in the wood when I'm done. So that when I get done countersinking all these screws and putting the putty in and sanding everything, you won't see these ugly gray screws. I just use deck screws with the Phillips head exterior screws. They're really great for everything. I have all different sizes. I just use those for everything Mostly everything I do, and then I just countersink them and cover them over. Anyway, that's how I do it. I'm very happy to see this wall finally almost completely finished. Almost completely finished. Alright guys, that's all I got. I need to clean up and straighten up, put my cabinet back together as soon as the countertop dries.